Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Quick review here on the DREO smart fan because all of the others that I was seeing on YouTube or anywhere else were about how quiet it was or how the build quality and all that's fine. Perfectly good reviews. But as a geek, I needed to know what the smart features were. I took the plunge and I bought it, and it is not up to scratch, not by a long shot. Now, maybe I got a Friday build or a Duff model or whatever it is, but I felt compelled to share these because I've had to replace it already. I've sent it back just yesterday, and my new one turned up, and it is head and shoulders above the rest. Or at least in the departments that this DREO lets itself down. I've done you the favour and the courtesy of muting all the the fan noise. As quiet as it is, the camera equipment still picks it up, and you don't need all that fluttering in the background. Where I want to start with this is to reiterate what the others said. Yes, the build quality is great. Yes, it is very quiet, although I have since found a quieter one. And you can check those reviews out for all of those essential bits of information if that's what you require. Where I wanted to focus is the app, and more importantly, how it fails to communicate, or the base station fails to remember its position just by turning it on. As you'll see, let's start the video right now. This is me turning the fan on, and immediately I go into the oscillation that I used on the last setting. Now right away we've started the app, the fan is running, and I go into the previous oscillation settings. Now that is where me and the wife, we're just sitting down, we're watching telly, and it's moving right across us. Just very tight field because it's quite close, it's right under the telly, and it's only got to go a couple of meters. Look at how the base station has lost its tracking, and it is blowing way off and then coming back to almost center, way off again, and it is by no means indicative of where it should have been. It's just, I'll go on to demonstrate how no matter what you do, reset the calibration, sometimes that doesn't work at all. Sometimes it will just revert back to type anyway, even after the oscillation. I think I do a very quick but reasonable job of demonstrating how it's just not fit for purpose. The app itself is perfect. My new one, the app is much more convoluted in terms of getting into asymmetrical spread pattern of it all, but the DREO app was great. It's a real shame because personally, and it is only an opinion, I think the fan looks great. It is the by far the better looking of the two that I've now got, but that pales in comparison when I can't even turn it on and expect it to just blow exactly how it was the last time that we wanted it on, and we're in the same position. Now, occasionally, the need was to completely change the direction towards me here at the desk, which should be fine. That should not be a hard task, should it? And yet, the base station was either A, it would refuse to move that far, or it would say it was in there, it would say it was there, and then it would just revert back anyway. Again, all these settings, I'm sure it's got something to do with how it reverts to, it needs a reference point, it needs a 0. But if it can't do that, and I reached out to DREO, I heard nothing back. I've had this for nearly a month. I was literally on the cusp of my 30 days return with Amazon. So after 2 weeks more of trying and making sure and approving one way or the other, whether it was how I turned it off, whether it was turned off with the Google Home, whether it was turned off with Alexa, whether it was turned off with the app, or whether I completely turned it off at the wall, none of these made any difference. So I'm at a loss to explain it. If I'd had more time, then maybe I would have delved deeper. But let the video tell you exactly what's going on, and I'll just chime in every now and then. I'll narrate it a little, but the point and the short and the long of it all is that it couldn't do the job that it was meant to do for me. And I've had to spend a little extra getting the next model, which I don't think looks as good, but I've only been playing with it a day, and of course, because I knew what to look for and what tests to run and see how it falls down. If it's not doing that, then it's already a better product and worth the extra investment. Okay, so here you'll see it won't move to its app displayed position. Changing the angle also fails to register with the device, and it won't move past its central position. While all that's going on, you may have noticed how much of a high angle the fan head is pointing toward. As I open up the vertical oscillation screen, you'll see it's nowhere near where it should be. At this point, you can see that even in manual control, the fan head only came down as far as it thought it could, and there was still plenty of travel left in its range, but the device is unresponsive to my taps in the app. So, reset vertical oscillation. And we have control again. Now to sort the horizontal. As you can see, the app knows exactly where the fan should be. But oh look, it got halfway there before returning back on itself. This was immediately after a calibration, so why can it not perform that simple task? Open the field of view up. There we go. And see how long it stays in the one position when it's gone to the right. This was necessary because it had lost its reference point. Now it resumes, and when it's done a full rotation, it's happy to match the app with a much shorter stay on its extremities. Have a look. Now it's happy to play ball. So let's look at what happens when we turn it off again. So it's performed these tests properly. But look what happens when we turn the device off again. But it's the same old, same old. And this got hella frustrating when it was the middle of a heat wave and all you're doing is trying to get comfortable on the sofa. Not having it. It doesn't like it. So another oscillation reset. And you can see now why I just gave up on vertical oscillation. Incidentally, although not captured in this video, I did try that reset oscillation after power off option 2, but it did not change anything. This is the last time I proved the device faults. I'd had enough, literally getting wound up by filming this constant disappointment. The IT crowd say turning it off and on again fixes everything. Only it doesn't. So, in summary, my verdict is to stay away. Here's the one bought to replace the DREO. and it's the far superior fan in terms of smart features. It does advertise itself as being slightly quieter than this one itself, but when we're talking sub 30 decibels, I really ain't that bothered. Um, I'm bothered about it doing what it says in terms of the smart features, which the DREO does not. That's it. Just that's everything. It doesn't do. All right. So steer clear, or at least good luck if you get a different one. But I'm sticking with this.